Yeah, Joe, it's kind of a new everything. People are just getting used to it. It's about 9 a.m. here. People are unpacking as our trade show fills out in the room around us, and kind of a neat thing, we're going to have the trade show right in with the speakers this year, and everyone's adjusting, but I think excited for the future based on the feedback we got the past couple of years. We heard over and over, just do something radically different, and we're hoping it's successful for both our business associate member partners as well as the dairy farmers who are here to hopefully take something home that's positive.
Now, before you look ahead, you have to look back a little bit, don't you?
Oh yeah, we that's the first thing we do here this morning. Actually, at our annual business meeting, we look at the last year. We look at our financial results. We look at our resolutions that we've come up with this summer and see what we want to accomplish next year. And we're celebrating the beginning of our 40th anniversary. And so we want to make clear we've started to use our 40th anniversary logo. This will be our 41st annual meeting, but it's the beginning of our 40th year because you don't turn 40 until you've completed 40 years. So we're gonna milk that for all it's worth, if you pardon the pun, and this will be the beginning of our celebration, and next year we'll have cake. But right now we're starting the beginning of our 40th year celebration. But to do that, I did a lot of research looking at the history, found some new stuff of what we've done in the past, and since I'm so new and our staff's so new, we need to learn about the past and reflect before we change too much going forward.
When you talk business meeting too, what's all associated? Of course, is there any elections this year associated with the business meeting as well?
Yeah, we've got 3 or 4 district elections every single year. This year we have 4 district elections from different parts of Minnesota, and then we always have a state at-large election. So we'll have 5 elections this morning. We have 2 people currently who are running unopposed and 2 challenged elections, and then the at-large we take from the floor. So I'll likely have 1 or 2 new directors at the end of the day, and also that's something that people can look forward to every year. We've got that at-large position, so whether your district is up or not, if this is something you want to get involved in, you sure can throw your hat in the ring and run for the board.
Lucas, you have both feet also in St. Paul in legislative matters. Looking back at last session before we get to another session, what are some wins you think that were key for the dairy industry?
Well, I think really over the past 2 or 3 years, Minnesota Milk has been really, really successful, and we've talked about it at our policy committee. We might be a victim of our own success. We've been asking for things and getting them, and haven't had to create a big uproar or haven't had to create a big hoopla about trying to win something, because we try to always ask for reasonable things. Minnesota Milk likes to work with legislators on both sides of the aisle, and we like to do things that are reasonable, but also, of course, going to help dairy farmers. And in the past 2 years, we've fought for last year and then sustained using manure hoses in the right-of-way. That's now in the state law. You can get a permit for our state roads, and you can also use it at the county and the township road level. You don't need a permit unless someone in your township or county says you do, and at that point you don't need to pay for it, and they need to give it to you as long as you set a certain set of circumstances. That's always going to be probably under debate for the next few years, so we'll be battling that again this year. Again, last year we had another relatively easy win. It took some testimony on our part. It took some good research on our part. Our lobbyist Darren Macbeth did a great job getting all the things in line to do that. But we got small milk trucks a 10% exemption over the road. Some small milk trucks were getting tickets, and this year we're going to try to double down on that and get milk trucks regulated how they should be by axle weight, because that's how they're built, is by axle weight. But right now they're regulated by gross vehicle weight, and as you know, when you have small farmyards in either southeast Minnesota or even in Stearns County, you can't take a big milk truck and fit it in the small farmyard. So if we can get milk trucks regulated by axle weight, that would really help us going forward, I think, to keep those hauling costs down and allowing more dairy farms to stay in business inevitably.
Lucas, from a producer standpoint, obviously they talk prices and kind of the pinch on things right now. A lot of that's going on, and where to go with all this milk that dairy farmers are producing?
Oh, Joe, as you know, with your role in the industry, that's the number one question we get asked all the time is what we're going to do with processing. And we're telling our farmers, make sure you know what your terms are with whoever you're shipping milk to. Make sure if you're expanding, you know what those terms are. Prices have not been terrible, but they haven't been good for the past 2 or 3 years, so it feels pretty terrible out there, and we understand and recognize that. So we've got some incentives in. Our legislators have helped us get some incentives in to help increase processing capacity. That's the best we can do. But really, if our co-ops and our other private processors are going to expand, they need to do it when they see better returns for their end product. So on the Midwest dairy side, we're also helping try to increase demand and create new products and do more research there. And I'm excited about the of things that we have coming forth there, because this all works together. We can't just add processing capacity with no final market to sell to. And I hope that dairy farmers, like I said, are backing up to think about, okay, what are the terms of the person I first sell to, and what is their end game, and how do we help them get there?
Lucas, finally, with any organization, the strength comes in membership. And a lot of folks, when you look at being a member of Minnesota Milk for such a very minimal investment, there's a lot of return.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, for just a penny per hundredweight, I always ask farmers, okay, if the price is down a penny or up a penny next year, how are you going to change your business plan? And I've never heard a very good answer to that one. And for us, it means a lot. It's more representation in St. Paul. It's more educational programming like we have here and in our workshops in the springtime, and hopefully more workshops in the summer. And it's also some tangible benefits that people might not realize. We've got scholarships. We're going to be giving away 10 $1,000 scholarships tonight to those of children of members, and starting next year, also employees of members. But the other tangible benefit, if you're a member this year and you signed up 7 days in advance, you got in here for free. And we're going to hope to continue to do that with more and more of our programs, giving our members more and more benefits. And we're going to be reevaluating that for both our farmer members and our business associate members over the next year. What are those benefits they really value, and how do we make sure we're getting them the bang for the buck? And I hope people just realize, like I said, we're a victim of our own success sometimes. We do a lot of things at St. Paul that we probably don't beat our chest about, and we'll try to do a better job of that over time.
All right, Lucas, we appreciate your time. Thanks again. Best of luck this year, okay?
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Lucas Sjostrom joining us here on Chasm Radio, Executive Director with Minnesota Milk here on Chasm Radio.